through turns 11 and 12. Verstappen then with the best of starts, leading from pole position. Leclerc really needed a good start, didn't work out for him as the two Alpines further back in the pack, up through 13 and 14, go side by side. Gasly and Ocon cutting across the curving of the chicanes. It is fierce between the two Alpines, almost contact and wheel-to-wheel action. Now, down the long, 1.2 kilometre back straight. DRS will be activated next time around. That flap in the rear wing will be able to open to give you 12 kilometres per hour, roughly speed advantage, as long as you're within the second of the car in front. The two Alpines absolutely nipping up for 13th and 14th at the moment in these early stages, and they're bringing Alex Albon and the Williams into the fight. But up ahead, it's Verstappen, Leclerc, Piastri, Sainz, Perez, their top five, as Lewis Hamilton goes side by side with Nico Hulkenberg through turns 1 and 2. This is the battle over 7th. Hulkenberg winning that one out. Hamilton slots in behind, and Yuki Tsunoda, who made the jump on Hamilton in yesterday's sprint while he was battling with the other Haas of Kevin Magnussen, right on Hamilton's rear wing.
Both Mercedes have lost ground. Hamilton down to 8th, then Hulkenberg with a terrific start in the Haas, getting himself to where he finished the sprint race yesterday. And Russell's down to 10th place. He's lost 3 places on the opening lap. Out front, Verstappen leads from Leclerc, and Piastri gained 3 in the other McLaren, really taking advantage as Perez dived down the inside and almost swiped out everyone else around him.
Verstappen leads by 1.2 seconds. Leclerc, Piastri, Sainz, Perez, the top 5. Norris, Hulkenberg, Hamilton, Tsunoda and George Russell rounds out the top 10. Points down to 10th place. Then it's Stroll, Gasly, Alonso, Ocon, Albon the top 15. Sargeant, Magnussen, Zhou, Bottas and Daniel Ricciardo still 20th and last as the Sauber and the Haas go toe-to-toe over the chicane. Goes the Sauber across the turns 13 and 14. Zhou fighting Magnussen.
Gasly makes a place on Fernando Alonso further back as well. Those two Alpines had an amazing scrap side by side through pretty much half the lap on the opening tour. I don't know how they didn't collide or bump one another into the wall on the narrowest part of the circuit, but they're still unscathed. It shows how much it means to them. No points for the team, but they both want to be there to pick up the pieces if things go wrong for those ahead.
The scraps at the back are where it's happening at the moment. Albon just dived down the inside of Esteban Ocon, coming into the left-hander of turn 17, down that long back straight. That the battle over 14th at the moment. Ocon 15th, Sargeant behind in 16th. Magnussen has lost his battle with the two Saubers. He's fallen behind him into 19th. Daniel Ricciardo languishing 20th and last. That 3 of 57 here in Miami for the Miami Grand Prix, the third edition of it. It's Verstappen leads Leclerc, but it's Piastri who's within a second of Leclerc at the moment. Second and third being fought out between the Ferrari and the McLaren.
Piastri with the fastest lap on lap 2, so he is close. He's half a second back from Charles Leclerc. Now, Leclerc said after yesterday, what are his best chances of beating Verstappen? Number 1, pass him at the start. He hasn't done that. He's dropped away. Number 2, at least stay within a second and keep the DRS of the race-leading Red Bull. He's not done that either. It's 1.6 seconds that Verstappen leads from Leclerc. DRS is available, but Leclerc with that poor start, he's managed to get back into second place, but he's lost too much ground to Verstappen ahead, so he's going to have to do this the hard way if he wants a victory challenge today. In fact, he has got Piastri homing in on him behind. Second place, Leclerc. Third, Piastri in the papaya McLaren. As they come through the final corner, Piastri's going to be really tight here, Harry.
And Sainz as well being brought into this fight just behind in the other Ferrari. Perez in the other Red Bull. Further detached, 1.4 seconds. Down the start, finish straight there. Piastri closes up, under braking into the right-hander of turn 1. Can't get close enough to have a look down the inside of Leclerc as he makes his way through 3 and 4. A little twitch on the rear of that Ferrari. Just unsettles the monogas slightly, but he holds that P2 position.
Remember that yesterday in the sprint race, overtaking was quite a lot harder than the teams expected. The overtaking delta, when they came to Miami, that's the lap time difference you need to be able to overtake, according to the team's calculations. It's only half a second, but that was wrong. Lots of people got stuck behind Daniel Ricciardo's RB. So can Piastri make a difference here against the Ferrari?
This is the funkiest showing he's had in a few races, Oscar Piastri. He looks like he's up for the fight. DRS open once again as they head down towards turn 11. It's the best overtaking place on the circuit. He's very close behind Charles Leclerc, but as yet not able to shape up for a lunge, just a car length too far back, and he's looking good.
2 8th place finishes in a row for Oscar Piastri, hoping to find himself on the podium come the end of 57 laps. A reminder, McLaren brought huge upgrades this weekend. They're all on Lando Norris's car. He is currently down in 6th, having lost the place at the start. Piastri only has half of the upgrades, but he's closing, pulls out to the left-hand side. We'll have the inside line on Leclerc. Down the straight, makes the move, runs a little bit deep. Leclerc will have the tighter line on the exit. Can he rush back at him? Piastri through and up into 2nd as they come onto the start-finish straight. He dives to the inside line to defend from Leclerc, who will fight back with DRS. Late on the brakes for Leclerc, round the outside, but he can't make it happen. Piastri up into 2nd place. Leclerc 3rd, Sainz 4th.
Leclerc waved him through and was hoping to get the DRS on the way back into turn 1, but he was just a little too far back and couldn't make it even into too much of a fight at turn 1. So it was a pretty limp defence there from Charles Leclerc. Piastri through on the inside, and that is really the work of 4 laps, putting the monogas driver under pressure. Finally got a chance, and he took it.
In what was proving to be a little bit of an underwhelming start to a season for Oscar Piastri in his 2nd season with McLaren in comparison to his now experienced teammate Lando Norris. This, one of his best races of the year so far. He's up into 2nd, but he hasn't been able to make a gap yet between Leclerc and Sainz. And in fact, Leclerc is now massively under pressure from his teammate Carlos Sainz behind.
Sainz looks really racy as well. 4th place for him, right underneath the gearbox of his teammate. The 2 Ferraris still there with Piastri. There they go, flashing out of turn 16 all together, but Sainz is the one that's slightly closer. Half a second down on Leclerc. He'll get DRS, but so will his teammate to defend ahead. But Leclerc does not look comfortable in this early stage.
Leclerc on medium, so too is Sainz. They close up under braking. Down through into the left-hander of turn 17, down that long back straight to Verstappen, who leads by 2.2 seconds. Piastri 2nd, Leclerc 3rd, Sainz 4th, battling ferociously the 2 Ferraris as they come down into turn 1. Sainz has a little think about it, but he's not close enough on that occasion. Perez, the top 5, and we get another look, Jolien, at the start of the race.
Verstappen was angled a long way to the right-hand side. He was ready to cover off Leclerc, but Leclerc just didn't get a good start at all, and then Perez launched in. He was millimetres from nerfing his teammate out of the race lead, all locked up, out of control, and that allowed Leclerc to come back through past Sainz, who was bolted, and it allowed Piastri to sneak through as well. Perez steamrollering in on the inside. This is the sound on board the Mexican driver who started 4th, looked to the inside. Oh, and he's just out of control, and his heart would have been through his mouth at that point, just thinking, am I about to plough in and wipe out my teammate, the race leader?
Rule number 1, never take out your teammate. Sainz, this is the sound of that Ferrari. Had a great start, had a great avoidance. And that was Sainz on the radio reporting about Perez.
Yesterday, Fernando Alonso said that Lewis Hamilton charged in like a bull, and there was contact, 4-way contact between him, his teammate Lance Stroll, Norris and Hamilton. Perez was even more like a bull in the Red Bull on that start. This cost him more than most, out of 5th place for Sergio Perez.
And we've got a sign on the timing screen that Perez has been investigated, or at least it's noted that he's potentially made a false start there.
Hello there, Silverback. Hello there, everyone. I apologise for not saying anything for the first 10 minutes because, of course, I obviously cannot see what's going on with no TV access to the race. Carlos Sainz is absolutely furious after being hit by Perez at the start. Perez going kamikaze, desperate to make up for what happened last year at Miami after being beaten by Verstappen with a few laps to go. Piastri, yes, Oscar Piastri is up to 2nd place in the McLaren after a fantastic overtaking move on Charles Leclerc, who's down to 3rd place after, as we said, Leclerc making a very poor start from 2nd place. And only being saved by the fact that Perez went and smacked into Sainz. Verstappen, unsurprisingly, as you probably have predicted, is indeed in another comfortable lead. And, yeah, I think this kind of makes sense to why Shazza HD doesn't do live watch-alongs, because we really are now living in the Max Verstappen era.
Yesterday was saying how he was starting on the clean side of the track, and it was the ones and the threes that got the better getaway, as we're seeing a replay.
And he just had a big crash there.
Yeah, copy, we saw that.
Seeing a replay of Lewis Hamilton and Nico Hulkenberg going wheel to wheel there. Lewis on the inside, Nico going wide. He's been on the radio on that hard tyre. Lewis Hamilton is against the medium tyre of the Haas driver Nico Hulkenberg. Interesting to see how that hard tyre isn't really getting the job done for him, is it?
He's lost the place again to Hulkenberg, so he was bound to lose a little bit at the start because the hard tyre takes longer to fire up. Then he made the move through on the inside at turn 11, and I think he was talking about Hulkenberg making a slight jink in the braking zone, but it looked okay from what I could see in terms of the stewarding. I don't think they'll get involved with that one, but Hulkenberg has then come back through. The Haas has got good straight line speed. I imagine he's had a DRS blast on the next run.
That mate of 57, this is the sound on board the 7-time champion Lewis Hamilton closing up onto the back of the Haas of Nico Hulkenberg, who has secured his future. He'll be off to Sauber next year before it becomes Audi, currently keeping the man who goes to Ferrari next year at bay. And we've just had another look at why Hulkenberg got back through. It was coming into turn 17 and a simple lock-up, Jolien, from Hamilton.
And a big one for Hamilton, who's on that hard tyre, and he wants to take that hard tyre a long way into this race. About that 30 he'll be aiming for at least, before he'll switch onto a medium, and his one stop that'll be the opposite of everyone else. He doesn't want to start locking up because you can pick up a flat spot and compromise your performance for that long run. So Hamilton, a mistake, letting Hulkenberg back through rather than any sort of sheer pace from the Haas driver. He's going to have to make that move on the German all over again.
Premier League football action as well today. It's full time between Brighton and Aston Villa. 1-0 Brighton over at Chelsea v West Ham. It was 5-0 to Chelsea, and Liverpool versus Tottenham ended up with a 4-2 win for Liverpool. You can keep across all things Premier League on the BBC Sport website and app right now. The instinct to live coverage of the Miami Grand Prix. Round 6 of the Formula 1 World Championship. It's the third visit to Miami. It's Verstappen who leads 2.6 seconds to Oscar Piastri in the McLaren. Leclerc is third, fighting with his teammate Sainz. The two Ferraris third and fourth. Perez the top 5. Then it's Norris, Hulkenberg, who is keeping Lewis Hamilton at bay for 7th, 8th. Then comes Russell in 9th. Tsunoda rounds out the point scorers, finishes point scorers at the moment in 10th. Stroll, Gasly, Alonso, Albon, Ocon the top 15, and they are a long old train.
I think Hamilton's probably got a case of PTSD fighting a Haas like this in the early stages, having battled Magnussen so hard yesterday. Magnussen picked up 35 seconds worth of penalties and 4 incidents trying to keep the 7-time champ at bay. Hulkenberg so far has let him go once. He closed this time Hamilton to making a move into turn 17. This is the sound on board the Haas. Got Hamilton right in the wheel tracks of Nico Hulkenberg, and Hamilton needs to make it through and then escape because he's now got 6 seconds to make up to Lando Norris.
DRS open for Lewis Hamilton down the start-finish straight, closes up, but can't get alongside the German of Nico Hulkenberg in front of him, holds on to 7th. These would be crucial points yet again for a team like Haas fighting.
Yeah. You can only talk about second place downwards unless Max drops out. Well, from what I've heard on the TV/radio is that it's not a lot to say apart from Hulkenberg fighting Hamilton for the last point scoring position.
Yes, Hulkenberg, Hamilton, Russell, Tsunoda, the top 10. But has Hamilton finally unlocked himself from that train?
I mean, obviously yesterday Hamilton got into...
The inside line on Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg tries to fight back, can't do it. Hamilton finally gets through as they make their way uphill.
Hamilton has finally overtaken Hulkenberg.
Hamilton up into 11, up into 7.
But
Russell, Tsunoda, the top 10.
so that is Hamilton in 7th place, Hulkenberg in 8th place. Gotta say it, Ferrari really, not Ferrari, Mercedes are seriously struggling for pace. I mean, you know when they're fighting Haas, it's not good. Of course, George Russell is also in the big train behind Hulkenberg. Ocon is in the fight, apparently, along with Gasly, all in contention for points, lower down the order with, of course, I think Norris is in 6th place.
Nothing like a bit of passive aggression at 200 miles per hour there for Nico Hulkenberg. Must be talking about Lewis Hamilton and some level of indiscretion that Lewis...
Apparently, Hulkenberg is absolutely infuriated with Hamilton's overtaking attempt. Of course, I think the top 6 as it stands, Verstappen leads from Piastri, Leclerc, Perez, Sainz in 4th and 5th, Norris, I presume, is in 6th. Hamilton is in 7th. Hulkenberg is hanging on for dear life in 8th place after yet another exceptional qualifying performance. Oh yeah, Sainz is out, is in front of Perez, who of course made that silly over, really did screw up the start. Yuki and Stroll are 9th and 10th. Thank you very much, Silverback, with Gasly knocking on the door in the 11th place. Gotta say it, this has got to be the strongest outing of the season so far for the Alpine boys. Finally got the car down to the weight limit.
Down the start finish straight we go again. Hamilton just in front, lock up though from Nico Hulkenberg going into turn 1, runs a little bit deep, but Russell not close enough to pounce.
Yeah, he just managed to get himself back within DRS range of Lewis Hamilton, but made a mistake at turn 1, and that should allow Hamilton to escape a little more, which will help Russell in turn to pass Hulkenberg and break up that DRS train. Coming through turn 6, long left-hander into 7, slow it down for the tightest part of that 3-part corner at turn 8, and then is a long straight onto the best overtaking chance on the circuit, and Russell's sizing up Hulkenberg for a move here.
Pit stops are also taking place for those in the back half of the field as Russell once again closes up on the inside of Hulkenberg with DRS, dives down the inside through turn 11, has to run deep, keeps all 4 wheels just about on the track. Hulkenberg can't do anything about it. Russell through on Hulkenberg for 8th place. Hulkenberg down tonight, Tsunoda in 10th. Russell had to wait to make that move, finally gets the job done and will try and chase down his teammate in front.
Nice move from Russell, confident on the brakes, used the absolute maximum of the track width but didn't go over the edge of the track, which would have incurred a potential penalty. So it was a nice clean move from George, and now he can go and chase after Lewis Hamilton and see if they can get anywhere near the faster teams ahead.
Yes, as you might have heard, Russell has finally overtaken Hulkenberg for 8th place. The order, thank you, Silverback. Fernando is in 12th. Goodness me, what a shocking weekend Aston Martin have had. Albon is out. Albon is out of the race. What happened? Do you know what happened, Silverback? Ocon 12th, Sargeant 13th. Yeah, it's been a terrible weekend for Albon. Just outpaced by Sargeant all weekend. That is something I didn't see coming. Zhou 14th. I presume that Magnussen and Ricciardo have gone up to 16th and 17th. My God, do you know what's happened to Bottas then? Like, where is Bottas? Did he get into trouble earlier on?
Ferrari's leader to be dealing with. I spoke to Ferrari just to check there wasn't a problem with Leclerc, because earlier that move that Oscar Piastri made on him seemed almost too easy, but they say Leclerc's absolutely fine. Which brings me on to DRS. We see the DRS train spearheaded by Nico Hulkenberg. Julian, why is DRS so powerful here around this track?
Well, there's long straights and there's 3 chances to use it, and really you need it to try and give yourself...
Update, Alonso, Ocon, Sargeant, Zhou, Bottas. Oh, Bottas is in 15th. Okay, thank you for telling me that. Oh, right, you got, okay, Magnussen, Ricciardo, 16th and 17th. So let me think, who's not there then? Is that Alpine is out? Oh no, sorry. Alonso is 12th. Ocon is 13th. Sargeant is 14th. Zhou is 15th. Oh. Okay, so who's the other guy who's not in the race then? Is there got to be one other guy, is it?
Sergio Perez, who's coming under big pressure now from Norris.
He is Perez currently in fifth. Norris in a fully upgraded McLaren trying to get down the outside. Through 11 has to tuck in behind, but Perez goes deep, hugs the apex round the long right hand, and Norris closes up behind. The Red Bull driver is under pressure here, Sergio Perez, up through 14 and 15.
Oh, for God's sake, now my radio signal's got out. I mean, apparently Perez was there fighting with Norris. Oh, God, dearie me. I'm having a lot of technical issues. Okay.
Next up, Formula One heads back to America for the first time this year. Miami International.
Okay, they're off for a commercial break. Let me just regather my thoughts. So, Gasly. I'm trying really hard to work out who else is there. Oh my God, I'm having an absolute brain fog.
You are smashing it. You are strong and you can do this.
Oh, right, Gasly is in 12th, sorry. No, oh my God. No, okay, let me read out the race order then. Max Verstappen first, Piastri second, Leclerc third, Carlos Sainz fourth. Oh, we're in the pit. Oh, they're all going for the pits now, yeah. I really do apologise because I am now having to deal with a commercial break. Goodness me, I really need to find something better than this. Do you know what I should do? Do you know what it is? I'm going to go and find someone else's stream and actually go and watch them because, to be honest, watching BBC Radio 5 Live is an absolute pain in the neck. I can't see any stats on my screen. I think it'd be so much better for this stream if I actually went and found someone else who actually uploaded the stats and statistics on a running order. Let me think. You know what? I'm going to go and find a racing statistics YouTube channel because he's got all the stats. He does a great job of supplying stats. Of course, he's also got a few buddies that help him out, talk about this sort of stuff. And yes, yeah, I found him. There we go. Would you look at that? Yeah, I'm going to have to go and talk to him because, to be honest, I cannot be also this BBC Radio 5 Live where there's no stats. I think with the pit sequence coming up, it's pretty much not a good thing, and I'm going to get through the adverts. Absolutely hate watching adverts, as you can tell.
Charles and Carlos need to eat tea. What? Leclerc might have the fast lap, but Oscar is still keeping him back. Yes.
So, okay, the race order, I can now see it. Of course, Ocon is up to 10th place, and Hulkenberg has got him pitted.
That's good. I mean, that was
by the looks of it, Alonso and Zhou up to 11th and 12th behind Ocon. Magnussen is and Ricciardo up to 13th and 14th. I think Stroll and Gasly have gone pitted. Sargeant has dropped to the back. Well, Albon's actually in 18th place. I mean, he's actually still in the race, so I beg your pardon due to all the technical difficulties.
In the next few laps, they may be extending by a few, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're starting to come in. Oh no. Sauber was overtaking Alonso there for the best order. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for the donation. It is greatly appreciated. Zach Brown is who we're looking at right now. We are back again on that fight for P5 between Norris and Perez.
Perez is still fighting Norris by the looks of it. Only half a second between the pair of them, and of course the top 6 are all on medium tyres. Hamilton is on hard tyres. Alonso is also on hard tyres, along with Ricciardo and Magnussen. Zhou, Ocon, and Tsunoda on the mediums. Whilst the bottom 6, Hulkenberg, Gasly, Stroll, Albon, Sargeant, and Bottas have all switched from mediums onto the hard tyres. Although by the looks of it, it looks like Bottas tried to start the race on soft tyres, which is really odd.
Oh, let's see. Lando's trying to go around the outside, but I don't think there's a window big enough to make a move there. Perez has been called into the pit, so he's going
Perez is pitting.
to overcut Lando Norris in order to take that position. I assume he's going to be coming in this or the next lap. Perez coming in for
You're hungry, okay? See, okay, then I'll wait. I'll stay here. And news report: Honda aims to continue supporting Yuki Tsunoda once they swap the engine supply from Red Bull to Aston Martin. Well, I mean, Honda is the only reason why Tsunoda is in Formula 1 in the first place, so why say? So that's not really news, but hey. Sainz is now ahead of Norris. Hamilton is up to 6th. Russell is up to 7th. Perez is down to 10th after his pit stop. And further news is that Carlos Sainz has turned down a seat at Audi in favour of chasing another seat. So I presume he's pretty much going after Mercedes or Red Bull.
Mostly because they are driving with one driver, pretty much, as they have been for a very long time. And yeah, I mean, Alonso's keeping that constructors fight alive, even though he's against Hamilton and Russell.
So to repeat the race order, Max Verstappen is in first place. Piastri remains in second place after a brilliant start to the race. Leclerc is in third place. Sainz is in fourth. Norris fifth. Hamilton sixth. Russell seventh. Tsunoda eighth. Ocon ninth. Perez 10th after pitting. And apparently Daniel Ricciardo didn't receive an apology from Lance Stroll over the Chinese Grand Prix crash. Well, what can you expect, eh? Lance Stroll is just... I don't even want to say it, because if I said what I really thought of Lance Stroll, my YouTube channel would be deleted forever. I would never get it back. That's how much I cannot stand Lance Stroll. Well, I'm just looking at the lap times here. How Verstappen is lapping consistently in the 1 minute 33s. Piastri and Leclerc dipped into 1 minute 32.9s. Sainz is also lapping consistently in the 1 minute 33s, but as for that, no one else is pretty much really able to get close to Verstappen. And Verstappen has completed a new fastest lap of 1 minute 32.668. Yeah, the guy is literally in a league of his own. He's maintaining a gap of 3.6 seconds over Oscar Piastri. I mean, we're 20 laps into the race. And now, of course, Leclerc is going into the pits, meaning that he's going to drop down the order with Hamilton already up to 5th place. And I presume there's going to be quite a few other cars that might get past him. Leclerc has switched from the mediums to the hard tyres.
Yeah, he's not going to get a point. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, Alpine really to be able to get points from anywhere they can, to be honest. Perez, I mean, as I can see on the race Leclerc and Perez have got are 6th and 9th. The two drivers at top 10 have pitted. So what's it? We've still got to wait for the likes of course, the top 5, Russell, Tsunoda, and Ocon to pit to see where the order really pans out. We have had no safety cars to speak of, and no one is watching my stream. Yeah. There's not much going on as you expect. And Verstappen has registered a new fastest lap of 1 minute 32.5. Of 1 minute 32.5 this is. Oh, no, but Norris has now got the fastest lap of 1 minute 32.421. Gotta say it, no one is getting close to the top 4 today. Of course, having said that, though, the gap between Verstappen and Norris is about 10 seconds. Sainz is 6 seconds behind Verstappen. Piastri is doing a decent job maintaining his gap of just under 4 seconds, but Hamilton, he's already 22 seconds behind Verstappen after, what, 21 laps? That's not particularly great if I'm going to be honest. Russell is already over 26 seconds behind. Deary me, Mercedes are lapping on average a second slower than Verstappen's Red Bull. As for Perez, well, he's gone onto the hard tyres and his fastest laps remains on 1 minute 33.069. And Leclerc has overtaken Norris around the outside. There's absolutely no one watching.
I hit that cone in turn 15, check the front wing. Oh, so that's a cone there. That's in the middle of the track. Norris, because it's up as he goes 3.8 seconds behind Sainz. Oh, the Verstappen raced by Leclerc now. Let's see a replay of what happened there actually. Oh, okay, so he's the baller. Yeah. He hit the baller. And he, yeah.
And Leclerc sets a new fastest lap of 1 minute 32.113. Gotta say it, the lap times are dropping, but Verstappen remains in control.
Yeah, it's in the middle of the track right now. Yeah, that's in a complicated spot. They should be actually throwing a VSC.
Oh, a virtual safety car could be coming out.
With the wall. I think there should be a VSC, and yeah, someone should be out there on the track to clear that one out.
Because a ball has been hit. Gotta say, I don't think anyone else has pitted yet. I mean, Hamilton is doing a pretty good job on the hard tyres. And yes, a virtual safety car has been brought out.
Let's see, Bottas right now is, okay, VSC, that's exactly what I thought was going to happen. VSC, as Bottas went through the corner where, oh, so everyone is pitting now, that's interesting. Yeah, Bollard is being cleared off now, so there's a gap between Bottas and Verstappen. Now there's a marshal on track.
Just so you're wondering, a virtual safety car has come out because a steward, a marshal has come out to clear out a loose bollard.
Guys, clear the track. Ocon, 2.5 second stop. the VSC is ending right now. Yeah, so the midfield was actually able to take advantage of that one, make up a few places. Gasly and Ocon are well into the points right now. Alonso's on the mediums. Oh, Alonso stopped.
Alonso pitted for mediums. You're kidding.
30 laps on those mediums.
My God, Lord, Alonso is going for mediums. He's going to try and make his mediums last for 30 laps.
Did Norris pit? No, he did not. It's really early for that Alonso stop. He is on the mediums and is going to have to nurse those tires all the way through this race.
Goodness me, Fernando Alonso. Fernando Alonso trying to make a 7 mediums last for 30 laps on Miami. I mean, how is he going to do that? Hello there to the one person watching. I hope you're doing fine and well. Verstappen has pitted down to 4th place, meaning that Oscar Piastri is your new race leader, folks. Sainz and Norris are up to 2nd and 3rd, and absolutely no one is watching again.
For driver number 14 right now. That's Ocon looking racy with Hulkenberg ahead. Are really great managing those tires. Yes, yes. They also didn't get the opportunity to stop during the VSC. They were off the pit lane. Perez has been fine number for 10 months. Legend, absolute legend indeed. Thank you so much, Perez. It's good to have you here, buddy. Still with us in the channel every weekend. Perez makes a move on Yuki Tsunoda. So this cost a bit compared to Piastri. We need to push a bit more for these laps. Leclerc gets told, yeah, but the race is long, guys. The tire feels good. He doesn't want to push a lot. As we are now looking at Hulkenberg getting overtaken by Ocon, probably being overtaken by Alonso next. There are a lot of
So, Hulkenberg is under pressure from Alonso, and Norris sets a new fastest lap of 1 minute 31.982. The lap times are dropping here around Miami. Verstappen is 16 seconds behind Piastri. I wonder how his pit strategy is going to work out for the rest of this race.
A 3-second stop for Russell. That's subpar. Is he going to be coming out ahead or behind? That battle that's raging, I think he's going to be behind. Or, oh my God, is he going to come out right in the middle of it? Oh, yes. Okay. Well, ahead of the Haas, which is crucial for the Mercedes.
So, Russell, up against pitted, has managed to get out just in front of Hulkenberg. A good job there by Mercedes pit crew. And, yeah, Alonso has overtaken Nico Hulkenberg. And unfortunately, I think that's pretty much RIP to Haas's chances of scoring any points today at Miami. Hulkenberg did a great job getting that 7th place in the sprint race, but today the lack of speed in the Haas has been fully exposed. And I think it is very safe to say RB will be taking over 6th place in the constructor standings with, of course, Tsunoda and Ricciardo currently in 8th and 10th place. I'm pretty sure at least one of them will be scoring points, but of course, we're only 26 laps into the race, and of course, Zhou is actually running in 9th place, and I presume he will be stopping at some point because there's no way he's going to hold on to 9th place.
We have another safety car, another incident on track, but it's always a possibility. Ricciardo has not stopped yet, no.
Oh no, no stop for Ricciardo.
Zhou, got the Zhou, Tsunoda, and the top 3 haven't stopped. Russell gets past Ocon right there. Yeah, so there's been more overtaking here than yesterday, which is good. It's impossible to see the curve now in the chicane, Hamilton says, because of the baller that Verstappen pushed off there in turn 15. Oh well, I have to deal with it. I mean, there's so much you can do about that one.
By the looks of it, yeah, Russell is 3 seconds behind Ricciardo, who is yet to stop, but I'm pretty sure it's in a couple of laps' time, Russell will be all over the back of Ricciardo. Meanwhile, of course, Zhou is only 3 seconds in front of Ricciardo. Of course, Zhou is 9th, Ricciardo's 10th, Russell is in 11th. Ricciardo is on the hard tyres, so he's doing a pretty good job out there. Tsunoda is up to 7th. I think Hamilton, I presume, has stopped yet. Hamilton's had a stop. And Verstappen is in 4th place. He's slowly closing the gap to Piastri, but he's still 15.5 seconds behind Piastri, while Sainz and Norris stay within about 4.5 seconds behind the McLaren. Yeah. Looking down the order, Ocon is only just over a second ahead of his former teammate, his best friend Fernando Alonso. Gonna be a bit tasty soon in the next few laps when Alonso gets onto the back of the Alpine. I wonder what Alonso might try and do, because we all know they love each other out there. They're best of friends. And if you can't detect the sarcasm in my voice, well, I can't really help you.
Podium. Oh yeah, a beautiful podium indeed. Sainz being told to box right there. That is Russell trying to go around the outside of Ricciardo, who's yet to make a stop.
And yeah, it looks like Russell has got past Ricciardo. So that's now 28 laps into the race. And Leclerc and Piastri have stopped, and Sainz as well, meaning that Norris is in the lead of the race, but his lead is 11.5 seconds ahead of Verstappen. And I don't think anyone will be shocked at this, but I think when Norris stops, it'll be advantage to Verstappen again. Well, what can you do, really? Max is just simply too good right now. Whilst Perez is still toiling around in 6th place, doing, I don't even know what the hell is Perez doing, to be honest, out there. Stupid manoeuvre at the start of the race, going for glory when, and just piling on more pressure on himself. And frankly, I mean, if he can get anywhere near close to 4th place, I think this is the best he can do. But of course, he's down in 6th place. Narrowly just ahead of Tsunoda, who is, I presume, is yet to stop. And it's a safety car. I think Sargeant has a problem.
Going backwards, and that's Logan Sargeant stopped at the end of the track there. Safety car should be.
Logan Sargeant has stopped on the track. It's got to be a safety car, mate. He's literally stopped his car on the racing line. So yeah, that's definitely a safety car there. I mean, if he can't get his car off the track, I mean, I'm sorry, but you can't, I mean, on a very narrow track like Miami, where there's very little runoff area, the home local hero is out of the race. And I will say this about Logan Sargeant. I think he's had a decent weekend, outpacing Albon throughout all the sessions. But today, well, it's kind of gone back to the usual order of course, Albon being out in front. And, yeah, kind of a bit of hard luck there for Logan. But, you know, Williams can barely run one car. Alonso is coming into the pits. Lap 29 with Logan Sargeant bringing out a safety car. And Magnussen, well, Magnussen, what's going on? Oh, I think Magnussen, has Magnussen stopped out on track as well? Sargeant had a crash. Well,
This guy is not going to be the grid next year.
yeah, Logan Sargeant crashed out for those of you wondering. And Stroll has taken a pit stop as well. Hulkenberg has stopped for a pit stop. Zhou and Ricciardo have gone to the pits as well. Zhou and Ricciardo have dropped well out of the top 10 thanks to their stop. Tsunoda remains 7th.
So Sargeant ran Kevin Magnussen off the track.
Apparently, both Sargeant and Magnussen had a coming together. Sargeant ran Magnussen off the track, which is odd to say because it's usually Magnussen shoving people off the racing line. But Sargeant shoved Magnussen out wide, and then he went and smacked his car into the barriers. And frankly, you know, Logan Sargeant is just how do I describe him? He's basically a Nicholas Latifi / Nikita Mazepin tier of driver. I know he doesn't bring any actual money with him like those two drivers do, but he's just basically driving like a pay driver. There is no other way of saying it. He's just so poor. He's just not giving Albon the help he needs. And would you look at that? Albon is up to 13th after all those pit stops. Albon is actually up to 13th. Norris. Well, Norris. Okay, I know it's a safety car, but yeah, all the lap times obviously considerably slowed down to over 2.5 minutes. But damn.
Yeah, the safety car is not behind Verstappen, so is Norris going to be a lap ahead?
Wait, hang on a minute. What's going on? The safety car apparently hasn't picked anyone up.
Safety car, guys.
I've got a problem with a safety car out in there in Miami.
Norris has to right now catch the safety car queue,
Oh,
and then race direction has to let everyone but Norris through to catch the back of the safety car because the safety car is behind Norris now. It's not leading the race.
oh, so what's it? The safety car is stuck. It's trying to catch up with Lando Norris. That is absolutely baffling. That is a mess.
There we go. There, everyone is being let off.
Verstappen, Leclerc,
So it looks like the FIA are going to have to tell all the cars behind Norris to make their way past the safety car and then so that the safety car can catch up with Norris. That is just completely messed up. I don't know how on earth they've got into that mess.
So, can Norris pull this one off, guys? Or, you know, the curse. Will the curse find them again?
So yeah, lap 31. I think we're about, how many laps have we got left to go? 22 laps remaining.
Yes, it is ridiculous.
I'm going to go and return to BBC 5 Live because there's not really much going on beyond the safety car.
Glory with safety car in recent races. They've been delaying putting it out in a couple of races so far, particularly in China last time out, and now they've picked up the wrong car. So, yeah, not great.
The track is now clear, but Norris is still not behind the safety car. He's got to do a full lap. He just emerged ahead of it. And yeah, he's still on his own as well. He's got 13 seconds back to Verstappen. So they're all waiting to catch the safety car, form up and go again. The hard tyres will easily get to the end of the race. That's no problem. They've got less than half distance. So the degradation should be fine. The advantage will be for Norris, who's pitted last and will have a slightly fresher tyre. Leclerc in third position was the first of those front runners to pit. He has a slightly more used tyre and in theory will struggle more for pace at this stage. But the warm-up is going to be the tricky part on the hard tyre. That's where Hamilton on lap 1 was struggling.
It's lap 31 of 57. We're over halfway distance for the Miami Grand Prix. And it is Lando Norris who leads this race outright. The man from Somerset in a fully upgraded McLaren is in for a chance of his first ever Formula One race victory with less than half a race to go. Max Verstappen has now closed right up behind Norris under safety car. So Bert Mailander in the Mercedes safety car has finally found Norris the leader of this race. Piastri is 4th behind Leclerc, Sainz 5th, Perez 6th, Tsunoda, Hamilton, Russell, Ocon the top 10. Alonso is 11th, Gasly, Albon, Zhou, Ricciardo in the top 15. Hulkenberg is 16th ahead of Stroll. Bottas, Magnussen in 19th. The reason for this safety car was an incident between the Haas driver of Kevin Magnussen and the Williams of Logan Sargeant. They came together. That has seen Sargeant out of this race. And after being investigated, that is Magnussen with a 10-second time penalty. He's getting quite used to receiving those these days. But 19 cars left in this race. It is clear in track sector 3. That is where the incident occurred. They managed to clear now Sargeant's car from on track to behind the barriers. As now, the 19 cars remaining in this race, Constantine up, weaving left, weaving right, trying to keep the heat into these tyres. Safety car coming to an end. Lando Norris will have the outright lead of this race.
45 seconds worth of penalties now for Magnussen in 50 laps of racing. I think that's a new world record in Formula 1. I thought it could have been a 50-50. He was side by side through a couple of corners, but obviously the steward's not thinking he was far enough along the inside of Sargeant. It's not a conventional overtaking place, but they were side by side already into turn 1. But when you've been up into the stewards the whole time, it's probably the easy move to assume that you're probably in the wrong again, I guess.
Just making their way through turns 14 and 15, approaching that long back straight. The safety car coming to an end. When the lights go out on the top of the safety car, it will peel away, and then Lando Norris will become the effective leader of this race, setting the pace.
Pressure on Norris now. He is a real talent. He's never won a Grand Prix. He had a big chance in Sochi in 2021. It rained on the last few laps, and it fell away from him in a spin. This time it's dry. We're expecting no rain. Norris leads. We're expecting no more pit stops either, but he has Max Verstappen in phenomenal form tucked in right behind him.
15 career podium finishes for Lando Norris. A win yet to be on his list. As the green flag flies, Norris leads this race across the line, but Verstappen goes straight with him down towards turn 1. Norris has to hide that inside line. Verstappen will have to go the long way round. Norris holds his line, manages to get through turns 1 into the left-hander of 2, as it starts to snake through sector 1. Norris, Verstappen, Leclerc, Piastri signs the top 5.
Oh, it was a nervy restart from Norris. He didn't drop Verstappen at all. He went in a quite a predictable place, but he managed to hold firm on the inside, had to defend the first corner, and didn't lock up on those hard tyres that are finding a bit of temperature now, sweeping through the triple left-hander. And in fact, Verstappen is going to be the man under pressure now from Charles Leclerc.
The Ferrari driver of Leclerc all over the back of Max Verstappen as they make their way down the run towards turn 11. A prime overtaking spot. DRS will be reactivated next lap around. Leclerc to the inside, has a little look, but not close enough at the end of the straight into turn 11. Meanwhile, Tsunoda battling with Lewis Hamilton quite ferociously over 7th and 8th into 11th as well. Tsunoda winning that battle over the 7th-time champ.
Tsunoda benefiting as well from going long and pitting under the safety car the same way as Lando Norris has, and Norris has broken a second clear of Max Verstappen as well. Verstappen was having to watch out for Charles Leclerc. He's struggling a little bit in this Grand Prix, and Norris has broken the DRS range.
Let's also bear in mind there's tyre life differences. At the top here we've got Norris with 6 lap pressure tyres than Verstappen. That's about, what is that, about 3/10, Harry, something like that in terms of advantage. Charles Leclerc, meanwhile, has got 4 lap less fresh tyres than Verstappen, whereas Piastri and Sainz behind him have 7 lap pressure tyres than Leclerc.
Lando Norris with a fully upgraded McLaren straight in the one and only practice session we had this weekend. Showed huge flashes of pace, didn't quite deliver in sprint qualifying. We didn't see what he had in the sprint race. He was taken out in turn 1. An underwhelming qualifying for the Grand Prix, but the way things have evolved with the use of the safety car, Lando Norris has been able to get up into the lead of this race. After safety car has come in, he now has a 1.4-second advantage over the reigning champion Max Verstappen. DRS is now enabled on this lap. That is the drag reduction system, which gives you a boost with the rear wing flap opening when you are within a second of the car in front of you, which Verstappen is currently not within of Norris. But Carlos Sainz certainly is of the other McLaren of Oscar Piastri as they go side by side through turn 11. Sainz has to cut the chicane. Piastri holds the position for the time being. Piastri 4th, Sainz 5th.
Yeah, Sainz just ushered wide from Piastri, the left-hander of 11 there. Couldn't make it through. Piastri was good on the brakes and held firm. Norris did the fastest lap of the race on that last lap. The safety car restart on hard tyres. Quite impressive confidence from him as well, under pressure from Verstappen on the restart, but he has gone He's got 1.4 seconds back to the Dutchman behind him, and that is crucially got him clear of the DRS. And Verstappen still has to worry about Charles Leclerc, just 7 tenths behind him.
Yeah, Leclerc still well and truly within that DRS zone. This is BBC Radio 5 Live's coverage of the Miami Grand Prix, the 6th round of the Formula One World Championship. Alongside myself, Harry Benjamin, is the former Formula One driver, Jolyon Palmer, BBC F1 correspondent, Andrew Benson, and down in the pits is Rosanna Tennant. Lando Norris in the McLaren leads this Grand Prix. Max Verstappen is 1.5 seconds back. We've recently restarted this race after a safety car period brought out for an incident further back.
Yeah, we are on it.
So that was Sainz. He's not happy that Piastri pushed him wide at turn 11. There's even a little bit of contact between the two running 4th and 5th. I think it was hard, but Piastri probably on the limit of fair there.
This is the sound of Lewis Hamilton as the replay of getting past Yuki Tsunoda side by side through that really tight and twisty middle sector that takes you through the chicane of 14 and 15. Hamilton now back in front of the Japanese RB driver. Hamilton 7th, Tsunoda 8th. Norris leads 1.5 seconds. The gap between himself and Verstappen, Leclerc, Piastri, Sainz the top 5. Perez, Hamilton, Tsunoda, Russell, Ocon, the top 10. Alonso, Gasly, Albon, Zhou, Hulkenberg, the top 15. The race has not worked out well for the German Haas driver. Ricciardo is 16th, Stroll, Bottas and Magnussen.
Sainz sounds like he's in tears there underneath the helmet in 5th position. Really wants to be a steward himself, telling the engineer what Piastri should do. It was really tough racing side by side in towards turn 11 there, but I think Piastri was aggressive. He was deep on the brakes, but I don't think Sainz had done enough on the way into the corner to expect Piastri to now give him the position back. But it's tough for Sainz, who spent the whole of the sprint yesterday trailing round Daniel Ricciardo in 5th position. Here's his radio again.
Understood. We are working it. Check on 1.0. Check on 1.0. Understood. Copy.
Tell McLaren to be telling him, is what Sainz is saying there. That's not going to happen.
Sainz has a lot of ins with his old team, but I'm not sure he's got that much power. This is the sound of Carlos Sainz, though. Can he do it? As a move on the track, moves to the outside, coming into turn 11, but he runs deep. He's not close enough to Piastri, who keeps hold of that 4th position. The Australian in the McLaren 4th, the Spanish Ferrari driver behind in 5th.
He is fired up, though, isn't he? He's passionately trying to negotiate over the team radio with his team to speak to Piastri's team and allow the position. Piastri's not going to give this one up, and I don't think he should, but Sainz is really still attacking. Opens the DRS, takes a tear off on the long run down towards the final corner.
Hello, welcome if you're watching. Yeah, this is the Miami Grand Prix. Norris is leading the race, and Piastri is defending from Sainz.
Norris at 1:31.1. Here's his teammate.
A couple of laps ago, turn 11, when Sainz went off track, it looked like you were ahead at the apex of the corner. Ferrari think you should give the position up, but we do not.
And that's the McLaren side of it.
High-speed negotiations. What has it come to?
The best of them. The gap, though, now increased between Lando Norris, who leads this race, and Max Verstappen to 2 seconds. Last lap around, 3 tenths, almost 4 tenths the difference between Norris and Verstappen. Norris has the pace here. He's going for his first win in Formula One.
He does the fastest first sector of the Grand Prix. He is pulling away, and he was so quick in that first stint after he was unleashed when Perez pitted. He was the fastest man, lap on lap. He went very long on the medium tyre. That's why he benefited from pitting on the safety car. Everyone else had pitted already. Norris went long because he was so quick, and now he has the reward. It's a bit of luck. You never know when a safety car is going to come. Sometimes you go long and you don't luck in. This time he's gone long, and he has lucked in a big way. He's gone from fighting for possibly 3rd place, maybe even 2nd, to leading the Grand Prix, and now he is stretching his legs.
The sun continues to beat down on this Miami International Autodrome, host of the 6th round of the...
race by Norris. Oh, let's hope he doesn't cook his tires. I'm so worried.
Norris,
So worried.
if you're wondering, is hanging on to the lead. Of course,
Verstappen's getting the gap.
I'm just going to do a couple of settings here. Of course, Norris has a lead of 2.5 seconds over Verstappen. Leclerc is in third place. Piastri is defending fourth, just ahead of Sainz, whilst Perez is still down in sixth place. Hamilton has got to seventh place, just ahead of Tsunoda, who is in a Mercedes sandwich, just ahead of Russell, and Ocon is latching on to 10th place. A great performance there from the Alpine driver, whilst Alonso is fighting Gasly off for 11th place. Damn, no, I need to... Yeah, I'm going to have to go back to 5 Live.
Verstappen, I can't get the car to turn. It's a disaster. The reigning champ is not happy out there. Is it Verstappen exaggerating, or is there actual issues here for the Red Bull driver?
Well, a disaster for Verstappen is to not win a race right now. That is what's happening as Sainz is going to send another look towards the inside of turn 11. Is laid on the brakes for Piastri, and he holds on. Sainz just putting so much pressure on the young Aussie, but Piastri holding firm for now. Verstappen cannot protect the car. He's got understeer, he's struggling with the front end, and then he's just losing little bits of time here or there. It was 4/10 on the last up to Norris, and for a man that's won all but 4 of the last 30 Grand Prix, seeing the race lead just slowly disappear up the road, it's not a nice feeling for him.
Yeah, Norris is doing to Verstappen what Verstappen normally does to everybody else, isn't he? Now, bear in mind, Sainz is diving down inside Piastri, Harry.
Oh, there's almost contact as well as Piastri tries to turn in, but finds the Ferrari in his way. Front wing getting dangerously close to flying off. I think a little bit of carbon fiber did fly off one of those cars. Sainz side by side with Piastri. Sainz with the inside line into turn 1. Lock up from Piastri. The McLaren runs deep and off the circuit. Through goes Sainz up into 4th. Piastri down to 5th.
That's a really nice move from Sainz, who finally just had to send it on the brakes. Piastri's been strong on the brakes as well. That's how he defended that contentious move before. He tried to defend again at turn 1 and flew off the road. Sainz finally has made the move by being so deep, right on the limit of grip, locking the front, sliding on the rear. There was a tiny little bit of contact as Piastri was trying to cut back on it, but finally Sainz is through. He had to send it. I like to see that sort of racing.
It's still hardcore racing as well because Perez is in a battle with Piastri too, who falls down the field behind Hamilton as well. So I think there's trouble for Piastri in that McLaren with perhaps contact picked up between himself and Sainz. Sainz now 4th, Perez up to 5th, Hamilton up to 6th. Piastri was slid all the way down to 7th place in this race, and now has the RB of Yuki Tsunoda closing in on him as well. That 40th 57 of the Miami Grand Prix. Here is
We
Piastri.
see front wing damage. We see front wing damage, so we should not replace the front wing.
The top element of the front wing, I think, has come away, and that will explain why he's suddenly dropping off. He did also have a big lock up at turn 1, missing a bit of front downforce, so as they all fly past our commentary position, Piastri does not. He peels into the right-hand side. Sainz ready into the car's okay. Piastri does not.
Tsunoda, Russell, and Ocon with Alonso up into the point. Alonso was expecting a tough, bold race this afternoon. Started down in 15th at the moment. Is looking at a point to his name, rounding out that top 10. Then it's Gasly at 11th, Albon 12th, Hulkenberg 13th, and Albon actually was behind Hulkenberg now. This fight going on with the 12th, 13th, and 14th, with Zhou in the Sauber 14th in front of Daniel Ricciardo in the RB, who is down in 15th spot. Then comes Stroll, Bottas, and Magnussen. The 19 runners still left in this race, loaded Sargeant, the one and only retired.
That was a replay there, the same you could hear of the Ferrari and Carlos Sainz down the inside. of Oscar Piastri, laying on the brakes. It was actually quite a thud, the right rear of Sainz into the left-hand side of the front wing of Piastri. Ended up being a crack in that front wing of Piastri's had to pin. Late move from Sainz, had a late lock of the rear brakes as well, had to correct and slid slightly wide into the McLaren. Tough, but they had it on the other way around about 5 laps previous.
41 of 57, getting into the closing stages of this Miami Grand Prix. Norris leads, here's Sainz. Some signs, having just said the car is all okay, now feeling that something is wrong. He's currently in fourth, just had a little bit of contact with Piastri, had to come into the pits for a front wing change. And now he's looking away from the top three, having had good pace stuck in the McLaren. Now he's got clear air, and he's 7/10 down on Leclerc, who's upping his own pace, still 2 seconds back from Verstappen. Norris does the fastest up in the Grand Prix, now 3.5 seconds clear of Verstappen, and Sainz, having felt up any contact, is not sure about his own coach. It's Sergio Perez attacking now, 1.5 seconds back, and then it's Hamilton. That's Hamilton asking for more power. He's 7/10 behind Sergio Perez. Hamilton can smell fifth place here at 10 points, which would be massive for a team like Mercedes in this current season, who find themselves down on pace, down on power. Hamilton asking for everything that team have got and is hunt down of a struggling Sergio Perez in the second Red Bull.
Yeah, having a much better race today. Mercedes didn't have a huge amount of pace in the first stint. Now he's on the medium tyre, and his second stint he's going much better. He's already come past Yuki Tsunoda. Tsunoda's still holding George Russell behind. He's 2 seconds back from Lewis Hamilton, who is the car we're on board with now, heading down towards turn 17. Tsunoda's 2 seconds back. He's got Russell 2 seconds behind him. Hamilton is within DRS range of Sergio Perez, who is having the most mediocre of afternoons in Miami here, and is dropping still further back from Sainz, who's dropping away from the top three. Perez with no pace after having that lock up at turn 1, almost bulldozer off his teammate. He's just never looked like challenging.
15 laps to go. Let's just bring you up to speed what's happening elsewhere in the field. The Sainz is told that they think the car is okay, having had a bit of a skirmish with Oscar Piastri. As you say, the bottom end of the top 10, Russell, on the Alpine, looking at taking 2 points for that French team, which would be absolutely brilliant for them. Categorically started off this season as the worst team on field performance, finally hitting the minimum weight, bringing upgrades from China onwards. 9th place for Ocon will be massive. Then it's Alonso, Gasly the top 11, Hulkenberg, Albon, Zhou, Ricciardo, Stroll, all embroiled in a massive battle just outside of the points. No points up for grabs, but it is all about pride for those drivers. Then it's Bottas, who's a little further adrift, 1.5 seconds back for the Sauber driver ahead of Kevin Magnussen, who is now under investigation for failing to serve the time penalty correctly that he received. He got given a 10-second time penalty for his incident with Logan Sargeant, which saw the American Williams driver out of this race. And Piastri, having had contact with Carlos Sainz, had to come into the pits for a front wing change. Now lies down in 19th, but did just set the fastest lap. However, it's his teammate, Lando Norris, who leads this race. 3.8 seconds between himself and Max Verstappen.
He's 4/10 quicker than Verstappen on the last lap. Every lap, Norris is growing that lead, little bit by little bit. Never won a Formula One race. He's a real prodigious talent. He's shown it so many times, particularly in the wet, sometimes in the dry. He's been punching it off his way. He has more podiums in Formula One without a Grand Prix win than anyone else ever. But this could be the day where he can break that and finally get that Grand Prix victory.
For McLaren as well, 1 Grand Prix win in the last 12 years. And that came courtesy of Daniel Ricciardo back in Monza in 2021, with Norris right behind him on the podium on that occasion. It wasn't the flowers for Norris that time. Could it be from the end of 57 laps here in Miami?
So a couple of races ago, McLaren said, we think we can challenge for victories this year. And this was a couple of races ago before Norris finished second in Shanghai last time out. And where they were struggling to get on the podium, they just about managed it in Melbourne without the Red Bull of Verstappen in the fight, without Perez being on form either. As Zhou has a bit of a send down the inside of Alex Albon, doesn't make his stick at turn 11. The roads are scrapping further down in the field. McLaren said, we think we can fight for victory victories. And it felt like a bit of a lofty aim for a team that's got drivers that neither of which have won a Grand Prix. And McLaren haven't won a Grand Prix since Daniel Ricciardo and Monza in 21, and for a long time before that, haven't won a Grand Prix. But they set their intentions. They knew they had upgrades coming. This is the first race that they put the upgrades on their car. They put it all on Norris's car. Half of the upgrades went on Piastri's car. He had half the upgrades of his teammate. They didn't have enough for both cars to get the full package. Norris didn't deliver as much as we thought in qualifying, but in race pace, yes, he's lucked in with the safety car, but he's been the fastest driver as well.
That 45 of 57, and the battles further up the field kind of settled for the time being. The fiercest battle at the moment is going on. But it's 15 and 16. And Lance Stroll, the Aston Martin, has just been able to get through on the RB of Daniel Ricciardo into turn 1. Ricciardo, who had an absolutely stunning sprint race yesterday, managed to finish 4th and keep a Ferrari of Carlos Sainz behind him for the entirety of the race. A tough qualifying for the Grand Prix, compounded with a three-place grid penalty carried over from China a couple of weeks ago. Started last, has clawed his way at the moment up to 16. Meanwhile, his teammate Yuki Tsunoda looking to bag crucial points for the RB team, up in 7 at the moment. It's been a bit of a switch around for RB and Haas during this race. They're embroiled in a great battle for 5th and 6th in the Constructors' Championship in the lower half of the field. Hulkenberg had the advantage early doors, but this race hasn't worked out for the German at the moment. He's down in 12 and stuck in a bit of a trade behind Gasly and Alonso, looking at that final point which Alonso currently occupies. Up in front though, it's Norris now, 4.5 seconds, and that gap is growing between himself and Verstappen.
Half a second again on the last lap. He is just in the zone right now. Lando Norris sweeping through the first sector, through the right, left of turn 4 and 5, into the triple left of 6, 7 and 8, and he's just extending that advantage lap on lap. 5 seconds out to Verstappen, 2 seconds then from Verstappen to Leclerc, then 3.5 seconds from Leclerc to Carlos Sainz, who looks like he is okay, as his team suggested on the team radio. No damage for him in that contact with Oscar Piastri, and he's just extending his advantage on Perez behind.
What do you think is going through Lando Norris's head right now? That 46 of 57 has nearly 5 seconds in front of Max Verstappen, looking at his first Grand Prix victory.
He'll know that this is a chance for him to break this gun. He will know it. You don't want to think about it, you don't want to dwell on it, because you just then tense up and feel the pressure, but you cannot avoid thinking about it. There's no cars ahead of him. He's got the clear track. He's stretching away from Max Verstappen, and he knows he's 12 laps away from the first Grand Prix win. And in his position, just think, it's a practice session. Do your best laps. Just don't think about anything else than hitting your brake points, taking an apex, do your best laps, lap on lap. That's exactly what he's doing. As soon as you start getting distracted, you start dwelling on too much outside of the exact moment that he's in right now, you start to make a stopping mistake, and then you start to feel pressure. He's in a very fast car today. He's got better tyre life than those behind him, and he's got better pace. He's just got to keep it simple and keep doing what he does best.
Well, Lando Norris is currently leading the Miami Grand Prix. We're getting into the first stage of this race. Max Verstappen behind Leclerc, Sainz, Perez, the top 5, Hamilton, Tsunoda, Russell, Ocon, Alonso, the top 10, and they are your points scorers. It's been a big day of sport on BBC Radio 5 live in the Premier League today. Full time, 3 games today. Brighton against Aston Villa, that ended 1-0 to Brighton. Chelsea versus West Ham ending with a Chelsea win 5-0, and Liverpool versus Tottenham full-time 4-2 to Liverpool. Also, after us on BBC Radio 5 Live, you can get all the latest and the biggest news stories from 11 o'clock. With less than 10 laps to go here in Miami as the sun beats down in the Sunshine City. It's Lando Norris who is staring down the barrel of his first Grand Prix victory. The fights are going on further back in the pack. Ocon and Alonso, the former teammates at Alpine. Ocon still in the Alpine, battling ferociously with Alonso in the Aston Martin over 9th and 10th. Ocon winning out just about, but the wily old fox of Alonso all over the Frenchman's rear wing as they come down the back straight. Alonso will get the benefit of the DRS.
It's such a mediocre weekend, Alonso and Aston Martin. Lance Stroll 15th, and he's been embroiled in battles further back as well. Ocon defends the inside, Alonso in the quicker car goes to the outside. He's not going to make it through at turn 17, but he should be able to have a good run. Gets it tightened and straightened, and onto the gas coming now through turns 18 and 19. Flat out. He'll get the air together, and he should get it done.
Down towards turn 1, Ocon on the inside of the Alpine, has to run a little bit deep. It's a tighter line through for Fernando Alonso, who closes up through turn 2, then 3, and it starts to snake through sector 1. And Aston Martin driver out to hold first behind the Alpine for the time being. Alonso, who had a tough qualified behind his teammate Lance Stroll, who is now behind him in this race. Stroll down in 14th, keeping Zhou and Ricciardo at bay. At this Grand Prix, DRS changed dramatically, where everybody is within a second of the car in front of them. So that 12 km/h extra boost that you get with that drag reduction system kind of becomes a bit negative. But Fernando Alonso into turn 11 does have the inside dust. Finally makes the move work. Alonso up into 9, Ocon down to 10, but it will still be a crucial point for Alpine if he can hold on to it. Hulkenberg in the Aston is closing in 1.8 seconds behind.
Hulkenberg, who started in the top 10, is now staring at the point again. He had a great start, got up to 7th, drifted back to the fringe of the top 10, took an early pit stop, it didn't work out, and he's had to find his way back up now to get to 11th place, staring at the back of Aston and Ocon. Alpine haven't scored a point this year. They've had major changes in the technical team. The technical director's left. The head of aerodynamics left as well when this car turned out to be right at the back of the field in Bahrain, the first race of the season. There were some upgrades. They got a chance to score a point, but Ocon's going to have to do it to the end of the race.
110 Grand Prix starts for McLaren. That's what Lando Norris has registered today. Ties with Lewis Hamilton's total with the team. And could this be the day that Norris celebrates the ultimate win for him with an upgraded McLaren? In qualifying, underwhelmed, but so far with the help of a safety car, things have gone the McLaren man's way. 5.5 seconds now between himself and Max Verstappen. The entirety of the McLaren garage, the pit wall with
driver of the day. Norris is currently winning this by a lot. I think that
Would you look at that? Norris is leading the race by nearly 6 seconds. That is phenomenal. Of course, Zhou is the only driver out there on soft tyres. Stroll has made 2 pit stops. Magnussen has made 3 pit stops. He's been given loads of time penalties yet again. Just really...
I think Sainz may get a penalty because he's Spanish.
Sainz might get... Oh yeah, Carlos Sainz.
That would be
Spanish tax coming for Carlos Sainz.
penalty given in the last few times.
Leclerc is in 3rd place, just behind Verstappen, who is in 2nd place, and Norris is leading by 6 seconds. I really do think, with only 3 laps remaining, Lando Norris, after 110 starts in Formula 1, could finally win a race in Formula 1, and now he starts lap 51. Carlos Sainz is down in 4th place, Perez is in 5th place, Hamilton 6th, Tsunoda 7th, Russell 8th, Alonso 9th, somehow finding a way to score points in what has to be one of Aston Martin's worst weekends. And Ocon is on for 10th place and what could be Alpine's first point of the season, with Hulkenberg recovering to 11th place, and he's currently just a second behind Ocon.
Norris is pulling Verstappen as we speak.
And Norris is pulling away. Lando Norris is pulling away with from Max Verstappen with just 2 laps to go. And look at the pace. Lando Norris took a 1 minute 31.227 as his fastest lap. Of course,
I think that's Ricciardo, and I don't think he's going to be able to make this one stick right now. They go side by side to turn 1. Oh, he does. DRS wide open. They are still side by side as they go into turn 1. Locks up. Piastri locks up a little bit of a lockup, but he's still side by side.
Well, if you're wondering what happened to Piastri, yeah, he had a collision with Perez or Sainz, and then of course he had to take a pit stop and he has dropped all the way down to 17th place, and he's fighting Dan Ricciardo for pretty much nothing. Stroll down in 13th place, 14th, I beg your pardon, behind Albon, who has made his way up to 13th. Bottas down in 18th place. Albon really are having just a terrible season, to be honest.
Oscar reminder, Lando is leading the race.
And Magnussen is currently running 19th and last. And look at that. Lando Norris goes fastest again with a 1 minute 31.080. With Sargeant being the sole retiree of the race so far after colliding with Magnussen, who got given a penalty for their collision. Well, Perez is going to finish 5th after messing up at the start. Really can't feel sorry for the bloke. Leclerc is going to finish 3rd ahead of Sainz. Leclerc winning the Ferrari battle yet again. Hamilton is up to 6th place. Tsunoda 7th. Russell 8th, Alonso 9th, Ocon 10th. Is that 5 laps remaining? Oh, okay. Of course, Alonso's done a great job today on those medium tyres. Oh dear Lord, Albon's race is going to pot now. He's been overtaken, he's now lost his 14th to Zhou, and of course, I mean, let's face it, Williams themselves have a terrible car. Not really much to say for what is, I presume, to be the bottom 2 teams, with, of course, Alpine on the verge of scoring their first point of the season with Esteban Ocon currently in 10th place. I mean, Williams and Sauber, you've got real problems, mate. You've got real problems out there. This is now getting serious. Yeah, this is serious now.
Oh my god, yeah, that was what's that for wheels of the track? Because it's for wheels of the first line, but not of the second line. I think that may stick. That move may stick.
Damn, I mean, it's weird to say this, but Lando Norris has now stretched his gap to 6.4 seconds. That is, I'm genuinely speechless. Max Verstappen is well and truly getting beaten today on merit. This is not a joke.
Oh my god.
Well, what can be said, folks? I think Lando Norris, with about 4 laps remaining, really does look comfortable. I mean, it's kind of no joke to say this, but Lando Norris, I think, very much deserves to win. Yeah, big gamble by McLaren by, you know.
That's a very big lockup. Oh, that's not a Albon through. And almost into the barrier.
Oh, dear.
Would have almost been a safety car. A big lockup.
Albon nearly took himself out of the race, and he's dropped to 19th place. His race is pretty much turned to a joke. Williams, I'm sorry to say this, your season is just going to pot. You've got serious problems now.
staying behind Ricciardo. I don't think he's going to be making everything unless it's really obvious. At 54 or 57, 6.5 seconds to Verstappen.
Got about 3 laps remaining, folks, of this 2024 Miami Grand Prix. Lando Norris is leading Verstappen by 6.5 seconds. This is turning out to be what could be the day we see a new winner today. I've been calling for this. I've been, Norris could have got sprint pole position, but completely bottled his lap. And then he got taken out at the first corner by Lance Stroll after a first corner collision in the sprint race. And after an average qualifying performance, thanks to a surprise safety car brought out by, of course, Logan Sargeant's crash, Norris and McLaren gambled on staying out, and it has paid dividends. We could well be on course to see Lando Norris winning his first race, McLaren winning their first race in 3 years since the 2021 Italian Grand Prix with Daniel Ricciardo, and Lando Norris is on the verge of winning his first ever race in Formula 1. I know what it feels like. The day when Kimi Raikkonen won his first race in Formula 1. That was 21 years ago. Yes, it's been 21 years since Kimi Raikkonen's first win back in the 2003 Malaysian Grand Prix. That felt brilliant. And today, McLaren could be on the verge of giving yet another young driver their debut Grand Prix win in the sport. The order remains the same as ever. Since, of course, the gap has now grown between Norris and Verstappen has now grown to 7 seconds. Leclerc is almost 10 seconds behind. Sainz is 12 seconds adrift. Perez is almost 15 seconds down. Hamilton is 16 seconds behind Norris. Tsunoda is exactly 25 seconds adrift of the race leader. Russell is in 8th place. Alonso 9th. Ocon in 10th. On the verge of scoring Alpine's first point of the season, and what has been a shambolic start to the season for Team Enstone, with their failing a crash test and having an overweight chassis. Hulkenberg, though, is only less than a second and a half adrift of Ocon in 11th place, with Gasly in 12th. And no car is lapped, surprisingly enough, since, of course, because of the safety car, it has meant that although Albon is he's about a minute and a half adrift. And I've still not had any messages from anyone today, with Silverback having not returned from his dinner. I hope the two people, if you're watching this video, just drop us a like, a subscribe, and comment on the video if you want to. It is now, and now Norris has started his final lap here at Miami, 7.5 seconds ahead of Max Verstappen. It is now, of course, Verstappen is in second with Leclerc in 3rd place. Norris is leading, for those of you wondering. Sainz 4th, Perez 5th, Hamilton 6th, Tsunoda 7th, Russell 8th, Alonso 9th, Ocon 10th. The final lap, for those of you wondering. Of course, thanks to the safety car, most of the field has only done a one stop. It has to be said, Norris has been absolutely fantastic under pressure from Verstappen. Broke away from the DRS train and has stretched the gap to 8 seconds. Norris is absolutely thriving right now. This is and everyone except Albon has started the final lap of the race. Sargeant is the only driver who retired after colliding with Magnussen. My lord. And now Norris is onto the straight.
Come on into turn 17.
He's now approaching the last few corners of this lap. Norris is on the verge of finally breaking his victory talk and winning for the first time ever.
Making his way through the final corner to win his first Grand Prix. Lando Norris.
And that's it. Congratulations to Lando Norris. You have won your first ever Grand Prix in Formula One. What a feeling this must be for the 24-year-old British driver. And 7.5 seconds behind is, of course, the championship leader, Max Verstappen, who will be no doubt will be absolutely infuriated to lose a race on merit. Third place is Leclerc, fourth is Sainz, fifth is Perez, sixth is Hamilton, seventh is Tsunoda, eighth is Russell, ninth is Alonso, 10th is Ocon, but of course some of the drivers have still not crossed the line yet, so we are waiting for confirmation for some of the...
Getting his first ever Formula One win with McLaren. The wall behind me is on purpose. I painted it specifically for today. We're all papaya now, and we are all McLaren. Hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. McLaren taking a win there. That's Lewis Hamilton, that's George Russell. I don't know who that is, but he is clapping. Yeah, that was Hamilton. That was Hamilton. Lando Norris team radio. No team radio.
And yes, I think that's pretty much the race order confirmed. Of course, I think.
Damn, 41% of the vote of driver of the day, of course, and that's insane. Okay, let's go through the rundown. Lando Norris team radio.
From Lando Norris.
I wonder how much is elation and how much is relief for Norris at finally winning as well. He's had all those podiums. He's had all that praise. We've all seen for such a long time the level of talent that he has. But finally, when he has a chance to win, he's been able to deliver it. A consummate performance today. So strong.
I guess that's how it's done. Finally. Oh, I'm so happy. I knew it, huh? I knew it when I came into this morning. I said today is a day full of opportunities. I nailed it. You nailed it. Thank you so much.
Norris nailed it, McLaren nailed it. They take the win for the Miami Grand Prix. They pit Max Verstappen and Red Bull. And as you say, Johnny, it must be relief because there were questions surrounding Norris. Could he ever win a Grand Prix? He was taking the records.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad. As well as for my grandma. Thank you very much.
And the thank yous there for Norris as he pulls up into that P1 spot for the very first time. But there were questions around Norris. Could he ever win? Was he going to be always the nearly man, never able to do it? Well, he's put all those answers to bed now.
And unlike me, he's thought about doing the thank yous now rather than with a few laps to go in the race. He clambers out of the car. This is a popular win for Lando Norris. It's been a while coming, but it was surely inevitable. And finally, it has been realised. Huge cheers. Norris salutes the crowd. What a moment.
Let's head to Rosano's with Zach Brown.
Zach, congratulations. What a moment for the team. What a moment for Lando as well. How are you all feeling?
Pretty awesome. That was an unbelievable job by Lando. Team's done a fantastic job. That was a fast race car. Pretty awesome.
Of course, he had that full upgrade package. Does that make the difference this weekend? Can we expect more of this now?
Well, let's not get carried away. It's just race win #1, but I hope so.
Big celebrations. Toto Wolff coming out of the garage, guys, to congratulate Zach Brown. Hugs all down, even when your competitors here.
Rosano there with one of the first to speak to the CEO of McLaren, Zach Brown. Norris out of the car, Charles Leclerc straight over to congratulate his friend and rival Leclerc finished third on the podium. Verstappen behind, as Norris is also greeted by the president of the FIA, Mohammed bin Sulayem. Fernando Alonso walks over to Lando Norris. At one point, it was Norris serving the tea to Fernando Alonso back in Alonso's second McLaren days. And now he comes over to congratulate the T-boy done good.
The good of the great of the field have been congratulating. He's taking his helmet off now. And again, fist bumps now towards the crowd. Red Bull mechanics coming over to say well done. It's a popular win for Lando. And as I said, don't get carried away. This is just the first win. They got big hopes.
Listen to that. You can hear the crowd screaming Lando as he goes over to congratulate one of his best friends.
Congratulations, Lando Norris, to your first ever Grand Prix win in Formula One. What a result. Of course, the race order: Verstappen second, Leclerc third, Sainz fourth, Perez fifth, after a stupid attempt to overtake Verstappen at the start of the race. Gotta say it, Perez really is a shambolically bad number 2. Hamilton 6th, Tsunoda 7th, Alonso 8th, Russell 9th, Ocon 10th, although I think he's subject to a penalty, and he is, of course, scored Alpine's first point, depending on the investigation. And what a weekend, folks. There really is no such. There really is no. I mean, winning your first Grand Prix in Formula One is a truly unique feeling. I know what it felt like when I saw Kimi Raikkonen win his first race in the sport back in 2003 at the Malaysian Grand Prix 21 years ago. And today, another young McLaren driver has done it today. And of course, it's McLaren's first win in the sport for 3 years. What an achievement. And the McLaren crew, as you can tell, are absolutely ecstatic. I cannot tell. I mean, there must be absolute scenes of celebration down at Woking with the champagne flowing. McLaren are back on top. What a performance. Congratulations to everyone. And, of course, Lando Norris. And, of course, all the drivers are congratulating young Lando. So, to repeat the race order one more time, Lando Norris, for the first time ever in his career, has won an F1 race here at Miami. Second place, Max Verstappen. After, of course, Lando Norris did, and McLaren took a risk at leaving him out during the safety car, and it worked off perfectly. But Ferrari's Charles Leclerc third place, ahead of teammate Carlos Sainz. Fifth place, Sergio Perez. Lewis Hamilton finished 6th. 7th was Tsunoda, picking up more valuable points for the RB team and consolidating their place in the constructors. 8th, Alonso. 9th, Russell. And 10th, Ocon, scoring Alpine's first point of the season. And with Sargeant, with the only retiree of the race after crashing out after a collision with rival Kevin Magnussen. I think it's time for me to end this stream because I've been streaming long enough. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time.